My name is Jeanie Lo. I am from the CSS cohort of 2012, so I'm the first cohort. I currently live in California and I am a psychotherapist there for teenagers and adults. I started having a strong interest in the human condition and also what causes human behaviors to happen, such as especially self-defeating behavior since I was really young. The other part is talking to a lot of my classmates since I was a teenager and understanding what is happening in their lives and understanding what they're doing and what they think is informed by their family of origin. And eventually when I got to university, that I started thinking about how could I use my passion for understanding human psychology and also passion for talking to people as a career, and then eventually I landed on being a psychotherapist. So common challenges I see with teens, and I currently work in the States, so I mainly work with US teens. However, I definitely see the issues that they have pretty congruent with what teens face in general. So some really common challenges I see even when I was a teen in school was definitely bullying, self-esteem issues, struggling with knowing their worth. That is it by grades? Is it by their friend groups? Is it by whatever titles that they hold in extracurriculars? And that is really something that I see across the board. Another challenge that I see that's pretty specific to Hong Kong is how competitive the whole culture is. And some advice that I would have for teens, I would say definitely being able to tolerate mistakes and making mistakes, because that is one of the key factors to build confidence. So I often have some clients that would come in and say that they want confidence. And the issue is that, well, confidence doesn't just come from positive affirmation. You can't just post I'm good enough, post it, and then you will believe in it every single day. It doesn't work that way. It comes from experience. Your body and your brain has to learn from experience. But it's still worth it to take some risks. It's still worth it to try and fail and stand up again and keep going. So for example, I think one of the most effective self-care strategies, for example, is to be able to go outdoors without screen time. And the reason it is because our brain has not been evolved to deal with that kind of quick-paced content saturation. And it does cause anxiety because your brain is constantly adjusting to changes, and the brain has not evolved to be adapting to that pace yet. And so that's why I think that without screen time, having at least 2 to 3 hours just socializing and going outdoors, or even just interacting with friends on a pace that's slower and that's more concentrated, and you can practice a little bit more focus. It could definitely be really helpful for our mental health in terms of getting us back to baseline and reducing some of the stimulation. With socialization, I would say that it's more than just hanging out with friends. Most effective socialization for self-care and other care is a deeper connection. So that deep connection is feeling seen, feeling known, and feeling that when you say something, the other person empathizes with you. And so when we are trying to build our support system, it's not only about okay, we hang out with whoever we see that's available. It is also about being able to discern what people would respect us and that we respect them, that we actually have a genuine connection together. So there's two parts. There's a logistical part and there's a substantial part of being a therapist. Logistically, you would want to ask around and do some research about which position you want to go into, because there is clinical psychologists, there's psychologists, there's social worker, there's counselors, marriage and family therapists, there's also psychiatrists. So there's a bunch of things that you could be doing if you want to help people with their mental health. So do their research, and you also want to know what country you would want to be going into and practice, because different countries have regulations. If we want to be a therapist to teens and underserved population, one of the key things I think is to develop a rapport building skills. So we call it rapport, but basically it means building trust and building almost like a friendship with teens and underserved population. And the reason is because you want to let them feel safe enough to be vulnerable and share whatever that's on their mind, whatever troubles that is. So a question that students could ask themselves if they want to go into the counseling field is, why do you want to do this? Just like that German philosopher Nietzsche mentioned that those who have a why can bear with any how. And so ask yourself, why do you want to be in this? And that why always changes, and that's okay. But when you go into that field, you want to make sure that you at least have a kind of a sense of purpose going into it, so then you can keep on going. I think something that's really encouraging about Hong Kong recently in these few years is more of a curiosity in a person's inner life. So it's not only about what we see, but also what we think, how we feel, why we behave. And if you already have that interest, or you have some questions about like what's going on with the situation with these people, then you could already be on your way to being a counselor. We often say in school that we are a therapist before we went into school, because it is that observation, is that constant questioning, that curiosity about a person's inner life that landed us in this position.